Mm. Well, good morning. Let's have some coffee. How are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. I haven't seen anybody in a long time, actually. Made this in old-fashioned percolator. I love it. It makes a real strong, rich cup of coffee, and of course, since it's sitting on a burner stove, you just turn it down low, and it just keeps the heat. So I like it better in that way than a French press. I like it way better than I like drip. Um, Drip's sometimes okay. Well, I'm doing pretty good, actually. If you just ask me how I'm doing, I'll tell you. I'm doing pretty good, actually. I took a month off, and I know I've taken a lot of time off this last year, and it seemed crazy to ask for even more of it. I mean, it's has been a fairly expensive mental breakdown I've had. Um, cost me a lot of money of lost work. Um, but so what? What's the good of money if you're totally cuckoo? Oh. So I took a month off, and in many ways, I was feeling better occasionally and feeling just as bad as I'd been all year, except for, I mean, not as bad as when it got to its worst stage, which is, if you want to know what my worst stage was, I had a chair outside of my front door that I started calling the crying chair. And as I would leave my house, I would sit in this chair before I go into work. And this is in full view of my neighborhood. But it was either that or sit on the ground. I would sit down and cry. Sometimes I'd still be crying by the time I got to work. And then when I came home, I'd know that I'm coming home to an empty house, and I'd sit down and cry, before I went in the house. So, about mid-January, like it wasn't that bad, but it was still bad. And so I went and talked to my work, and I could get things like medical leave and stuff like that, but I haven't. I haven't done it. I've done things like FMLA and ADA to get off time off work. Like if in the middle of the day I'm having like a panic attack, I could just go home, and or like one particular morning, I haven't really told anybody this. I was uh, I was lashing out in the middle of the night. I felt like I was being attacked, and I kicked my bedside table so hard that I would keep like a jug of water there. The jug of water flew through the air and hit me, but then also soaked me with ice cold water. So not only did I think somebody was attacking me, so I was trying to kick them off me, but then I got hit in the head while I was waking up, and then doused in cold water. And so like I was supposed to be at work in a little bit, and I was getting ready to go, and I realized I can't go. And like you call up right when you're supposed to be at work and say you're not coming. And typically that's bad news for you. But everyone stayed as cool as they could with me. They're like they had my back. Anyway, I didn't actually mean to talk about all that stuff, but um, I wanted to talk about my month off. Uh, I was reading somebody in the military. They're like, I've got one more year of on my service, and I don't think I can make. I don't think I can make it. And this one guy says, "You can make it easy." And this is going to sound like it's not going to be true, but this is going to sound like I'm making this up. But he told him, like, here's a couple different ways for you to get a solid month off. Um, that it should be possible. Get away for a solid month, and I assure you, things will be much, much better, and you'll make the rest of your year. And I thought maybe I should try that, because all the time I was avoiding work or not working. I would still go to work the next day. Like if I like the day I got hit in the head with my water bottle, or my water carafe, I still went to work the next day. Um, and then work a couple days and miss a day or miss a half day or something like that. Um, and so I took a month off, and the first week I just slept and ate. I literally slept like 10, 12 hours almost every single day. And and then I started reading, and I started reading like a couple books a day. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be out here. It's still snowing out there, right? Can you see that? Or is it too glary? There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of glare there. I don't know how much glare you're prepared to deal with. Started reading books. I'd wake up, I'd be out here at like 6 in the morning, or sometimes even earlier. If I'd wake up at like 3 in the morning, I'd just come out here and turn on that lamp and read a book. I was like, why not? I could take a nap in the day, later in the day, or if I don't, I could and did go to bed at like 5:30 or 6. Just read and slept, and I read all sorts of kinds of books, and every time my mind would get to a certain word, every time I was reading, I'd get to certain words that would provoke like this memory. And I realized that my memories were in very specific categories over and over and over again. All like a lot of us past stuff. I'm like, why am I thinking about stuff that was 30, 35 years ago or more? And like when I encountered incredible heartbreak, um, it added to something that was already inside me. There was like already a pain and a damage inside me that this extra bit of pain and damage went and attached to that, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Or I think of like the black hole or something like that, the fifth element, like this big black thing that like as more bad things happen, it just gets bigger, it gets stronger. And so I realized a lot of things that bothered me about my upbringing and my family, um, and my childhood, things that like pain that I've been holding on to still at 54, and um, relationships that I've had with men and women, and work relationships and stuff like that. But like love relationships that have gone bad, and friendships that have gone bad, and places that I worked at that I should have left years earlier, but just stayed and just got more and more and more miserable. And that just teaches you to put up with like unacceptable things forever, and then I start feeling like, well, maybe I'm in an unacceptable situation now, and I should have left years earlier, but I've got this house and got expensive coffee cups. I don't want to leave them. And a lot of other things. I realized after a while that I've always heard this term, like, let's unpack that. I realized I was unpacking this this damaged area inside me. Like, let's pull it all out and take a look at it. And and at first I tried to like minimize a lot of things that I could remember, and my own feelings. Um, and then I thought, like why not? Let's do both. Let's minimize it and maximize it. Say somebody did something to you once. Um, you know, so what? Live and let live. You know, it's not my job to get revenge. Or man, I'm absolutely totally furious with this person. how could they behave in such an awful, awful way? And then I go to minimize again. I'm like, well, probably they got that same kind of pain inside them, but instead of, their way to cope with it is try to pass that pain on to everybody. Everyone's got to suffer a little bit. Life isn't fair. Like, well, it seems like you're the one trying to make sure it isn't fair. So really, you just felt life hasn't been fair to you, and you want to make sure no one else gets a better deal, that kind of thing. So, I got angry, I got sad, I apologized, I gave forgiveness. I got angry. My friend Mike passed away, and I got angry at him recently. It surprised me. And I realized that, like, a lot of his problems were problems that he created. He was aware they were problems, but he also saw kind of a benefit to the problems he was having. I mean, it was kind of thing of like, you know, anything that feels good, kind of addicting, but also kind of bad for you too. He's like kind of balancing it out, a little bit. Like, well, rather than and then when things start to kind of go south, you go, oh, I can't do that thing anymore. Like, I rode the edges a little bit. I started to see off the other side, and I realized I need to pull it back. And he didn't, and he wouldn't, and I know he wouldn't because I tried to talk to him about it. So like I had a lot of pain about losing him, and I wish he had stayed in my life. I wish he had stayed alive, and I wish he would have listened to me. And then I wish that I would have had a better insight into the fact that some people are just going to pave their own road, and you could see that they're going the wrong way, but just like I could barely understand why someone else would want to try and make someone else's life unfair. Um, I can't understand when someone is directing their road towards the cliff. I just don't know. You can't know what's inside that person, what drives them. I've got a rough idea, but essentially, he made his own choices. It wasn't an accident, what happened. And that pulled some of the pain out of me, and I realized that in many cases, Aquila it wasn't the massive pain of his loss as much. It was like a normal amount of pain for losing your best friend. But that normal amount of pain would need to go into a place where you could fix it, you could work on it and process it. And so when it got to that space, when I got to where I would be coping with Aquila's loss, I couldn't, because there was a line, there was a line of things that I hadn't dealt with for my whole life. And I wouldn't say that I've dealt with it. Now I'm not fixed, but at least now I know, man. At least now I know what happened to me. And I know what the answer is. The answer is to continue to work on things, continue to do a therapy and therapeutic things. I feel much better about getting back to work now, and I know work's helpful. Having a paycheck is fundamentally helpful, but work is also helpful in that, like, it's gets me out of the house, gets me focused on other things. The work is difficult, even physically difficult, so it tires me out. It gives me some exercise, and then now, thanks to being a certified nut, like last week, these two guys were gonna fight over something stupid. Just imagine two people fighting over a napkin. Actually, imagine people fighting over two napkins, but they each want one napkin. Something that stupid. Well, I was reaching for that napkin. Well, yeah, but sir, there's another napkin right there. Well, I was grabbing that one. Oh, I guess I better punch that guy. I just said, all right, well, all right. You break it up. I fucking broke it up. I wish I could not do that kind of stuff. And then I went to my boss and said, I'll be leaving at lunchtime. And they saw the interaction. I'm like, that interaction got my heart going, and this medication I take makes me very sleepy when I take it. it says it's supposed to be okay for the daytime or work or driving or something like that, but it's not the case. So yeah, I feel capable of much more. I mean, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but yesterday I went out shopping at 3 different places, and my very first thought was like, God damn! And then I'm like, what else are you doing today? What else you have to do other than reading an oodle load of books and drinking too much coffee? Like, just go to the places, and I did. It was good. It was fine. But it was almost a memory to back when I would just order whatever I needed. You know, I'd have stuff delivered to me. I like, there's no way I'm going out to go one place. Um, I'll go 2 places. I'll order from the store I normally get my groceries from, and then I'll order from Amazon, get anything else. Actually, I even ordered food off of Amazon at one point in time. God, the snow's coming down. Yeah, I think that I mean everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be good. Um, in some cases, I'm glad this happened because it would have happened eventually, you know. And in a way, it happened at a good time. It happened where I'm working at a place that could handle this kind of thing. That I have the money to handle this kind of thing, um, and I'm relatively healthy. Um, and this problem would have happened eventually because all the stuff I was holding inside, or the things that I have not processed in my life, I'm still holding inside in my mind, and it would have that camel's back would have broken eventually. 16 minutes. That's got to be long enough. I'm on my new phone. I bought a new phone. It's real nice. Like the battery lasts like 2 days or more actually, and it's got like 6 cameras on it, so you can see my ugly mug like really clearly. All right, goodbye. I love you.